Well, good afternoon. Well, let me start by saying thank you for joining us today as we celebrate this significant investment and really a vote of confidence in the state of Iowa. It is my pleasure to be joined today by the Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Peard from Waukee, and of course, Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple. As you know, earlier today, the Waukee City Council and the IEDA board both acted to support a data center project proposed by Apple. For the past 20 months, Apple has been searching for the perfect location, and I am so proud to say that they found it right here in Iowa. Today's announcement isn't surprising when you look at the benefits an Iowa location offers a company like Apple. First, we're a state that has a highly educated, hardworking, and productive workforce. Whether that's one of the hundreds of people who will play a role in preparing the massive site at Waukee or constructing this $1 billion plus facility in phase one, or one of many who will ultimately be employed in one of the spin-off or supporting companies, or one of the 50-plus permanent employees who will ultimately work at the completed data center. Iowa workers give companies a leg up from the start. Our progress in STEM education and our focus now on ensuring that 70% of the workforce has education or training beyond high school shows companies like Apple that we are committed to delivering the workforce they need, as well as creating the workforce for the future. Iowa has also created an environment that is conducive to growth, especially for data centers. We have the geographic benefit of being statistically one of the safest states in the United States, free from hurricanes, earthquakes, and rolling blackouts that might threaten the integrity of data centers. It is just a blessing to be in the heartland of America, right? So you couple that with one of the lowest power costs in the nation, and really, why wouldn't you choose Iowa? Our state government and utility companies are forward-thinking and have been advancing renewable energy production for decades. Because of focused investments and an eye toward the future, Iowa is number one in the United States in percent of electricity generated by wind with 36.6%. For companies like Apple and many others who are committed to operating in an environmentally sustainable way, this pays off. Success begets success. But building industry clusters doesn't just happen by chance. Thanks to the foresight of our state and our local leaders years ago, Iowa has created programs that further support the IT industry and data centers. Specifically, why? Because these centers have huge economic impact well beyond the permanent jobs they create in our community and the initial capital investment that they make. In fact, a recent study released by the U.S. Chamber estimates that a typical data center employs 1,688 local workers. It provides almost $78 million in wages for those workers, produces a little over $243 million in output along the local economy's supply chain, and it generates almost $10 million in revenue for state and local governments. Every year thereafter, that same data center supports 157 local jobs, paying almost $8 million in wages, injecting close to $33 million into the local economy, and generating over $1 million in revenue to state and local governments. The study went on to say that the economic benefits don't stop there, that data centers create other tangible benefits for residents, including local infrastructure, improvements, the attraction of additional skilled workers, and other data centers or business partners. Perhaps most importantly is that Apple will be an active part of our community. And that's something I simply cannot overstate the significance of. I've had a chance to talk with Tim and his team, and I know firsthand their desire to build a successful partnership with Waukee, the Greater Des Moines area, and the entire state of Iowa. We are so pleased and proud that Apple is investing in our state. And in fact, I believe when all is said and done, this project has the potential to be the largest and, dare I say, the best in our state to date. So we thank you for joining other tech giants who have also found their way to our state, reinforcing Iowa's place in the knowledge-based economy. You offer us the world stage to tell the story of Iowa, a story of robust infrastructure, innovation-oriented mindset, a commitment to growth, and a skilled and productive workforce makes it a great place to do business. We cannot wait to partner with you. So Tim, to you and to the Apple team, welcome to Iowa.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to thank Governor Reynolds for that very kind introduction and for everything you've done to make today's announcement a reality. I understand that you're being inducted into the Iowa Women's Hall of Fame this weekend, and I want to be among the first to congratulate you. We also greatly appreciate the support we've had from the governor's office, from folks like Debbie Durham. Debbie, thank you. Dan Dutcher, Dan, and their teams at the Economic Development Council. And I'd also like to thank Mayor Peard and Lieutenant Governor Gregg. It's great to be here with everyone. We're here today because across Iowa, businesses, schools, developers, and government are coming together to build a new home for innovation in America's heartland. We see that commitment in Iowa's education system and in the value that you place on creativity, adaptability, and new ways of thinking. We see it in Iowa's world-class power grid and a focus on renewable energy that is a model for the entire nation. And we see it in the developer ecosystem in Iowa that have created apps that cover everything from entertainment to education. At Apple, we admire what you guys have accomplished, and we want to be a part of it. That's why I'm excited to announce that Apple is making an initial investment of $1.3 billion in Waukee to build our newest data center. It'll be powered completely, 100% by renewable energy, just like all of our U.S. Facilities and 96% of our facilities throughout the world. Thank you. This facility will create hundreds of jobs for people in Iowa, from construction to engineering. Data centers like this new facility are critical to Apple's operations, and they make up the backbone of America's innovation infrastructure. Every day, they make it possible for Apple users to send tens of billions of messages, to save more than 1 billion photos, and to place tens of million FaceTime video calls. And they will deliver the horsepower for the technologies of tomorrow. The Waukee Data Center will strengthen the relationships that we already enjoy in Iowa. If you go down to Knoxville, for example, you can find a 3M plant there that makes adhesives that we use to manufacture the iPhone. Or drive up to Decorah, and you'll find Stanley Engineering Fastening, the facility that makes the fasteners and tools that we rely on throughout our supply chain. or head south to Hiawatha. I hope I pronounced that right. Home of Corvo, which supplies some of our key wireless components. These are just a few of the 30 Apple suppliers that are located here in Iowa. And those 30 Iowan facilities are part of our larger network of 9,000 suppliers, large and small, that stretch across these United States. Last year, Apple spent over $50 billion from these American suppliers and manufacturers who make vital contributions to all of our products and services. Apple simply wouldn't be the same company without them. We're proud that every iPhone, every iPad, every Mac, every Apple Watch, every Apple TV contains parts and materials that come from America or made with equipment that comes from American suppliers, suppliers like those right here in Iowa. Across America, now more than 2 million people living in every state of the union are making a living as a part of the Apple ecosystem. That's designers and scientists, app developers and retail employees, contractors and factory workers. And this new data center will play a very important role in the App Store's continued success. And as the App Store grows, we look forward to growing in Iowa. As our economy evolves, as it's driven more and more by high tech and high skills, it's even more important for companies like Apple to help build a future for everyone. That's why Apple recently created a $1 billion fund to invest in US manufacturing. That's why earlier this year, we expanded our program that teaches young people, wherever in America they may happen to grow up, to code and prepare for the jobs of the future. So if you have kids in kindergarten, or kids in college, or somewhere in between that, Apple now has a free coding curriculum that's available to their school. Thank you. And it's why, in addition to the data center, we're contributing up to $100 million to a public improvement fund for the city of Waukee. After all, you're putting your faith in us, and we believe that ought to be a two-way street. In the years ahead, this fund will build and revitalize the infrastructure that supports the Waukee community, streets and sidewalks, libraries and parks. I'm excited personally that one of the first projects we'll work on together is the construction of the Waukee Youth Sports Campus, featuring a greenhouse, playground, fishing pier, and fields for high school and public sporting events that will be open to everyone in Waukee. And I may be there enjoying those myself. And later today, Governor Reynolds and I are heading over to Waukee Apex. We're going to sit in on some few classes, see what we can learn. This innovative school gives Waukee high school students the opportunity to learn about technology and business. Students collaborate with local companies to solve real-world problems, such as helping businesses in the community develop logos, design applications, and create video. Finishing the course will give them high school credit as well as college credit. This is an incredible program. But even more important, it'll give them the kind of skills that they need to succeed in this ever-changing, fast-changing world. These students are the ones who are going to lead us into the future. And you can count on this. Apple is going to continue to invest in that future for Waukee, for Iowa, and for America. Thank you again, and thank you for having me.
Governor, Mr. Cook, Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much for allowing me to speak briefly at this event. As you can clearly tell, it's a good day to be the mayor of Waukee. So thank you for being here today. As the city of Waukee begins a multi-decade partnership with the great brand of Apple Corporation, special recognition goes to our city council and staff for their leadership and planning efforts during this lengthy process, as well as the state and the Greater Des Moines Partnership for their efforts and ongoing support. So please give them a big hand. The city of Waukee is excited to be selected for this project. After the responsible leadership and planning from our city council and staff, we are thrilled to welcome Apple's investment to the city of Waukee. We look forward to the great benefits of this partnership and what it'll bring to our community as the project develops over the next 2 decades. On behalf of the city of Waukee, I'd like to welcome Apple, Tim, to our community. We look forward to beginning this legacy development and working together as business partnerships and neighbors to benefit the people of the city of Waukee. So thank you very much again, Mr. Cook, Governor, Lieutenant Governor. And now I'll introduce the Lieutenant Governor, Adam Gregg.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. What an exciting day for Waukee and for the entire state of Iowa. This is one of those moments where you pinch yourself. It's truly a red letter day here in the state of Iowa. I want to echo the governor's congratulations to all involved in this project, which will pay dividends for years to come. Economic development projects like this are partnerships between companies and communities and states, between regional and local entities, utilities, and others. It takes a lot of people working together with a common goal in mind. Today, I want to take just a minute to highlight some of those partnerships and to thank some of the many people who had a hand in making today a reality. First, thank you and congratulations to the city of Waukee. Your team, Mayor, put in a lot of time and effort to ensure that Apple could find the right site with the right infrastructure to be successful in the state of Iowa. I also want to recognize the Greater Des Moines Partnership for their work with our team at the Iowa Economic Development Authority to find the location that was the right fit for Apple. To MidAmerican Energy, thank you for your partnership in this project. Your continued investment in increasing renewable energy sources is a true asset and certainly helps to attract companies like Apple to invest here. I also want to thank the IEDA board for their service and willingness to look closely at these economic development projects for our state. These private individuals around the state give their time to do the due diligence that's required to review projects and ensure that our limited incentives are making the most impact possible. Finally, thank you to Apple. Obviously, you are the reason why we all are here today. We understand the kind of commitment that you're making here. Thank you for putting your trust in us, and we'll continue to work every day to earn that trust. Today's announcement of your plans to invest over $1 billion is only phase one of this project that will create at least 50 new permanent jobs and many, many more construction jobs. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We look forward to a long and fruitful partnership with Apple as you embrace your place in this state. See what I did there? Yeah, I like that.
It's a delayed response.
Yeah. As you embrace your place in this state and settle in for many more years of growth to come. Thank you very much.